Hey everybody, today I'm excited. I'm going to do an unboxing video for Clash of Arms' new release, the Battle of Ligny. This is their second edition of that game title, and I just got the box in the post, and looking at it, it is a very attractive box. Pretty good size, pretty good thickness to it. It's got a nice description of the game on the back, including samples of the map and the units. And let's open it up and see what we have inside. So it looks like we have here the exclusive rules. Most of the Clash of Arms games come with a standard rule book, and then they'll have an exclusive rule book that has various rules regarding particular unit, particular terrain, and then usually they'll have a section that has the order of battle. It has some scenarios. This looks like it's got 3 smaller scenarios, and then the grand battle scenario. And then Clash of Arms also has, with most of their stuff in the exclusive rule book, a historical commentary. So this looks like a rather extensive commentary on the campaign and probably the particulars of this battle and kind of what preceded it, and maybe a little hint at what happens after the battle's over. I'm pretty impressed with the artwork and the images in this. This is quite a step up from their other publications, getting into more detail and having a nice graphic look to it with all the pictures as well. And of course, with the rules, having a nice chart to tell you who's got command points, and then which different divisions fall under the different corps commanders for both the French and for the Prussians. So this is nice. All right, moving on. We have what looks like the first of our maps. It looks like, I think there's altogether 4 maps that are part of the entire battlefield. So this looks like the southwestern part of the map. You can see a little bit of Ligny here. The Ligny Creek runs along here. Here's the different St. Amads where there's a lot of fighting that took place. And looking at the map, there's a lot of detail, a lot more detail with the different cultivated hexes and the different little village hexes have a very nice look to them. We can see here some of the different farm hexes have a particular look to them to let you know that they're special. And here we've got the ancient chateau there. So nice. So here's the first of the maps, and now we've got what looks like a counter sheet. This looks like mostly French units, maybe some. It looks like we've got some Prussian units over here. Looks like we've got some French leaders and elements of the guard here. Of course, we have the Guard marching band. We have to see what their combat potential is there. Oh, melee of 5. That's pretty good. Don't throw them in just yet, though. Just looking at the units themselves, lots of real nice artwork here. The counters here are very colorful and very detailed. This is very similar to what they've been doing in the last several publications, the Battle of Dresden and the Battle of Borodino. We've got the units on the back, as usual. It looks like we have the French with the white and the coalition forces with this slightly grayed back, so you can tell who's who when they flipped over. They have the artillery with the little silhouette of the guns on them there. That's kind of a nice look, and that way you can identify those units when they are flipped over. Looks like it's nice and clean printing. Now if we move along here, we've got another one of our maps. This looks like Ligny proper, so this must be the southwestern map. We've got ourselves some more units here, more French from the looks of it, maybe a few Prussian units. Oftentimes they'll print the Prussian units with a sort of Germanic font on it, so you can kind of tell them apart because they have that slightly different lettering or font for the Prussians than they do for the French. Here we go. We've got another map here. It looks like maybe it is the northeastern map. Lots of nice work here. I like how they've got the creeks and the area here around the creeks sort of with this green shading, and then all the various and sundry sunken roads that were a big element on these battlefields in Belgium. All right, here we've got our first informational chart. This one has the key for all the different types of terrain and gives you some samples of what those are from the maps themselves. So this is always handy to know what's going on. All right, and here we have the 5th edition rule set. From what I've been told, this is very similar to the rules that came out with the Battle of Dresden. Just kind of formalizes things a little bit more to deal with the other battles in the series. The idea being then that you can use this rule set for some of the previous games that you might have purchased, and it incorporates elements from the 3rd edition rules as well as the Regs 30 and the Marie-Louise rules set that had come out with the Battle of Moscow game set a few years ago. So that looks nice. I'll have to look through that. A little note about the errata. So I'll have to read that. Something about Fords, something that didn't get included on the movement chart. That's always nice. All right. And here we've got, it's the northwest map. This connects on this side over here with Quatre-Bras map. So if you wanted to play both games in conjunction, both battles in conjunction, you could do that. All right, here we've got ourselves another chart, a couple of charts here. First one is for our stacking and square realization. Information about die roll modifiers and retreats. More things on morale checks, leader casualties, etc. That's nice, nice and clean. We've got our movement chart indicating the different types of movement costs for the infantry, cavalry, artillery, skirmishers, and your leaders, going through or moving across the different types of terrain that are here, and then different notes that may be exceptions to the rule there. Okay. All right. On to some informational counters and some more Prussian counters from the looks of it. So we've got Prussian counters here. We have, it looks like our maneuver unit counters here, or maybe it's our morale level counters. our charge counters, assault counters. We have prone counters. This must be for any British to decide to show up. Our square counters. Good. All right, the passage of time recorder. This is for keeping track of what turn you're at. Our battery box for when you have your artillery overrun by the enemy or shot to pieces by the enemy. All right, here we got some more informational counters. Very nice, nice and colorful. All right, we have a new looking assault chart. This is different than the ones that have come out previously. All right, here we have the order of battle chart. This looks like the order of battle for the French. So this lets you know what corps is which and helps you set up your units in advance. So this is nice. It's colorful. I like the fact that these are labeled, so that way it's easier to find them when you're reading in the scenario page. You know, find the 30th Line Regiment. Instead of trying to read the little numbers, it actually says 30th Line. It's easy to find. Another new thing that they've had recently is the names of the leaders up here, so that it's a little easier to make sure you get the right leader placed with the right formation. That's a nice feature. And that's the French army. Here we've got our morale level track. So here we've got that for the French, it looks like. They're different corps. And then you've got the Prussians, their different corps, and how many units have to be routed or destroyed to move up into the next level. So there's that tracking chart. Looks like this is the order of battle setup chart for the Prussians. So similar with the labeling for the different formations, and then the writing for the names of the leaders. So this is a nice chart too. The fact that it's got everything in color is nice. It makes it a little easier to find and match up your units. And then we have, last but not least, a bunch of informational markers. We've got the tired and exhausted markers for the cavalry, disordered and routed markers for everybody, extended line markers or road march markers, road order markers here, and then for all the different wounded markers for the increments. So nice all together.